The next thing I'm going to do is start compositing, but I want to make sure my document is set up correctly. Some of you are not doing this properly. Very important, because if you don't set it up correct in the beginning, you're going to have to go back and do a lot of adjustments. So I'm just going to go into Photoshop here. Okay, I'm in Photoshop. File, I'm going to create a new document. Very important you do this. Set it up correctly in the beginning, and then you won't have to worry about editing it later. Okay. So you can go 17 wide by 11 tall, or you can go 11 by 17. That's totally up to you. So we got portrait and landscape. So if we go landscape, you can kind of see it's wider than it is tall. I'm going to go landscape on this. It's totally up to you. The specs say portrait, but it doesn't really matter to me. So we need to make sure that this is properly set correctly. 17 by 11 inches. Okay, got to watch this. Make sure it's set to inches. Okay. Also, pixels per inch, or DPI, kind of same thing, 300. And I want to make sure I'm working in CMYK. 8-bit, you don't need to work any higher than that. I usually start with a white background. It just seems to work better for me. You can work with a transparent background if you want. It's totally up to you, but I like to start with a white background so I can kind of see what I'm blending together. Okay. All right, so here's my document. All right, so it's 11 by 17. It's at 300 DPI. It's in CMYK. If we look here, CMYK. It's untitled right now, so I would go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go ahead and save it as comp1. Okay. And right now I just have a white background. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up some of these images that I have. Oh, okay, I need to make sure I save this in the right place. So always make sure you're saving things in the right spot, okay? Because sometimes I know that file management for students can be a hassle, so make sure you have a root folder to save everything into, okay? So I'm going to save it in there. You saw that I saved it in the wrong folder. So just make sure your files are going in the right spot, okay? And I'm going to use view fit on screen so I can see exactly my whole pasteboard here. If I zoom out just so you can kind of see it. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up one of these images, and I want to use one of these patterns as a background. And I think I'm going to start with this one right here. Okay, I'm going to start with that one. It's got a little thing right here, but that's okay. Try to stay away from images with watermarks, but I'm going to select all. Okay, basically I'm selecting the entire image. Okay, or with your selection tools, you can select different parts. Okay, let me deselect. So like with the lasso tool, if I just wanted that area, I could just copy that and paste it into this document. Okay, and once I do that, okay, make sure these two things are turned on, because what those will do, they will give you an auto select. It'll select the correct layer, and then you can scale or do whatever you need to with it. Okay, very important that you do that. Okay, so I want to select this whole image, so I'm just select all, and I'm just going to copy. Okay, and then I'm just going to paste into this document. There's several ways you can do it. You can just click and drag it in there, but I like doing it this way just to get it started. Okay, and you're going to see again that I have these two turned on. Okay, auto select means it's going to auto select the layer. Show transform tools are these little control areas here, so I would turn those on. I don't know why they don't turn them on by default, but they should be on. So I'm starting my composition. I'm going to save as I go. I'm going to save as I add layers, because this can get pretty, these images can get pretty large once we start doing this. Now you always want to name your layers as well, so I'm going to call this new background. Okay, now this is important because you might have other people working on your document at some point. So to find layers, I mean, you might have 30 layers in there. They need to be able to find the document. Now anytime you see this background with a lock, usually if it's named background, it's going to be locked by default. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. Okay, if you see that little asterisk up there, let me show you what I'm talking about. You see that little asterisk means you haven't saved, so save often. Okay. Alright, so in the next video then I'm going to show you how to composite more images together. Okay. Alright.